All right, let's jump right in. Welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today because we're focusing our energy on a skill that is honestly absolutely vital for anyone stepping into a classroom. We are talking about mastering clear, structured paragraph writing. Our overarching goal today is simple but super powerful. We want to guarantee student success by making sure your written communication as an educator is practically flawless. So, let's get started.
Okay, let's dive into this. You know when you see that massive, satisfying success check mark in the classroom? Yeah, that doesn't just happen by accident. A teacher's clarity directly dictates a student's success. Whether you're writing a lesson plan, drafting a worksheet, or just scribbling instructions on the board, your words are the exact roadmap your students are following. If your paragraphs are messy, well, your students' understanding is going to be messy too. This blueprint we're going over today is absolutely essential for your teaching toolkit. So, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to kick things off with the educator's foundation, move right into the paragraph blueprint, and then actually analyze a model paragraph together. After that, we'll tackle grammar and linking words, point out some common mistakes to avoid, and finally, it's going to be your turn to build. Starting right off with part 1, the educator's foundation. You know, just like you wouldn't build a school on a shaky foundation, you really can't build a solid lesson on confusing text. So what is a paragraph really? Technically, it's a group of related sentences about one main idea. It's the absolute building block of all good writing. I know, as eager educators, it is so tempting to try and cram everything you know into a single block of text. The lesson goal, the homework, the behavioral expectations, the whole shebang. But the absolute golden rule here is restraint. Stick to just one main idea per paragraph. To keep that single idea totally intact, your paragraph has got to exhibit 3 key qualities. It must be clear, meaning it's incredibly easy to understand at first glance. It must be organized, possessing a logical flow of ideas from start to finish, and it must be connected, where the individual sentences smoothly link together. Without these 3 specific qualities working in harmony, our foundation literally starts to crack, and when the foundation cracks, our students get confused, they lose focus, and the learning just completely stops.
Which brings us to part 2, the paragraph blueprint.
Now that our foundation is poured and solid, let's look at the actual structural pillars of our writing. So the crucial point is this golden trio of sentences that erects our sturdy little building. Step 1 is the topic sentence. Think of it like the front door. It tells the reader exactly what the main idea is. Step 2 brings in the supporting details. These act like the walls, giving specific examples and concrete reasons. And finally, step 3 is the concluding sentence. That's the roof that perfectly summarizes or shows the result of everything we just built. Now I gotta offer a quick but vital warning specifically about that first pillar, the topic sentence. You need to be extremely clear and specific, but you absolutely must not give too many details right out of the gate. Think of it like simply stating, this lesson focuses on improving reading skills. Boom, that's all you need. If you spill all the details, the activities, and the reading strategies in sentence 1, you're going to overwhelm your reader and the paragraph loses its structural integrity. You have to keep it highly focused.
All right, moving on to part 3, analyzing a model paragraph. Let's actually see how this builds from a theoretical blueprint into a fully constructed model home that you can actually use in the classroom. Listen to how this flows and notice how the classroom example comes to life. This lesson focuses on improving student speaking skills. First, the teacher introduces useful expressions for giving opinions. Then, students work in pairs to discuss a topic related to daily life. After that, they present their ideas to the class. Finally, the teacher provides feedback on their performance. This lesson helps students become more confident in speaking and expressing their ideas clearly.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why that paragraph worked so effectively. We can literally dissect the text like a scientific specimen. That topic sentence flawlessly gives the instructions and sets up the main idea. Then the supporting details map directly to the concrete actions, working in pairs, completing the task, discussing ideas. And the concluding sentence? It proves the result, focusing on improving skills and providing feedback. It's like a giant puzzle where the 3 steps of our blueprint map perfectly to the actual structure of a lesson.
Part 4, grammar and linking words.
So a sturdy structure isn't just pillars and walls, right? It needs mortar. Let's introduce the critical technical elements that hold everything together safely. As an educator, you are constantly going to toggle between 2 distinct grammatical styles depending on what you're trying to achieve in that exact moment. On one hand, we have imperatives. These are your direct instructions. Think, open your book to page 5, or discuss with your partner. You use these when you need immediate student action. Contrast that with the present simple tense, which you use for general teaching descriptions like this lesson focuses on vocabulary or students work in groups. Knowing exactly when to give direct student instructions versus when to describe a lesson overview is absolutely paramount for clarity.
Along with the proper verb tense, you've got to use cohesion words to connect your ideas. Think of these as your directional signposts. There are two main categories here: sequential words like first, then, next, and finally, and cause and effect words like because, so, and therefore. Note how these specific words guide your students. When a student reads the word next, their brain naturally prepares for the following step. They never, ever get lost moving through your material because you're holding their hand the whole way.
Now for Part 5, Common Mistakes to Avoid.
I need to shift to a slightly more cautionary tone here. Now that we've built a structurally sound paragraph, we really need to talk about what causes bad communication and destroys all our hard work. These are the fatal writing flaws you have to watch out for. No clear topic sentence? Your readers are completely lost right from the start. Unconnected ideas? Your sentences are just jumping around without any logic, causing immediate frustration. No concluding sentence? Your text just ends abruptly, abandoning the reader without any closure. And wrong grammar? Well, that entirely confuses the message you're trying to send. Just imagine the absolute chaos these flaws cause, especially contrasted against the neat, comforting organization we just built together.
Which brings us to our final step. Part 6, your turn to build.
All right, it is officially time to hand the hard hat over to you. You've seen the foundation, you know the blueprint, and you are well aware of the hazards. So I want to challenge you, the future and current educators watching this, to apply exactly what you've learned. Here is your writing task. Draft an 80 to 100-word paragraph. You can choose to write out some classroom instructions, or you can write an activity description. But whatever you choose, you must utilize the precise topic, supporting, and concluding framework we just covered. Seriously, get that pen to paper.
And once you've drafted your paragraph, don't just walk away. Run it through this practical final reflection checklist so you can ensure your new paragraph stands totally sturdy and clear. Ask yourself, is there a clear topic sentence stating the main idea? Is there a logical order flowing smoothly from point A to point B? Are linking words used effectively? Like, did you actually use first, then, and finally? And lastly, is your grammar correct for the context, and does the conclusion effectively wrap everything up with a nice bow? To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a few powerful summarizing questions to deeply ponder next time you step into your teaching practice. Every single time you write a worksheet, an assignment, or an email, ask yourself, is my paragraph clear? Does it have exactly one main idea? And most importantly, is my purpose perfectly clear to my students? Answer yes to these and you are going to unlock incredible success in your classroom. But honestly, it begs the question, if this simple structure dictates success, how much student failure over the years has simply been a byproduct of our own disorganized writing? Let that sink in. Thank you so much for exploring this with me today, and happy teaching.